Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice.
Because during people don't understand the laws of God have always been on this planet. All people have some sense of morality. Like, I'm not supposed to kill somebody. Everybody has a sense of morality. So the laws have been on this earth, right? But there's specific people throughout history who took God's laws and pushed them to the next level. And Abraham was one of those people on the earth at that time.
He witnesses the sins that we think are secret. That's what this thing is all about. In order to build the nation of Israel back, guess what? Believe it or not, it starts with strong marriages.
My sister, how you doing today?
Y'all told me I don't dress.
How you doing today, my sister?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Take a look at this sign. What's your name?
Alicia.
Alicia, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Where you see yourself on this sign?
So I am a Benjamin.
Benjamin, your father is from the tribe of Benjamin?
Yes.
Okay, good. Amazing, amazing. What we out here to do, we trying to teach our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who we are according to the Bible. Now, have you heard that you were from the tribe of Benjamin before? Do you know anything about that?
I knew I was an Israelite. However, I did not know the specific tribe was from Benjamin.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Okay, Haitians are Levi. Okay.
Right. So what's amazing about being an Israelite, right, is that a lot of times in life, we out here winging it and we not understanding which way to go, what to do, who we supposed to be serving, who we supposed to be following. The good thing about being an Israelite, go ahead. Good thing about being an Israelite is that God already laid a foundation and a blueprint for us to follow in life, to where we don't have to even worry or think about what we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to be living, what we're supposed to be eating. It's already written. So I'm going to show you what it means to be an Israelite, right? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. This is what's required of being an Israelite, because being an Israelite is a holy, matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6 first. Being an Israelite is a holy thing. We are separated from all nations. God chose us to be holy and rule over this earth, right? That's why we have requirements. We can't just live like anybody and everybody.
So who are Israelites? Is it just black Americans or black people?
That's an amazing question, and I'm going to show you, because
How you doing, my sister?
I'm fine.
All right, so you said, who are the Israelites, right? Question, you said you were from the tribe of Benjamin. Did you know that when you were coming up today, or you just heard about it?
My friend, he's very religious, and so he basically broke it down a while ago and said, like, people that are of color and, they are Israelites, like they are from, the tribe of Israel, but he didn't break it down how it's very
I got you, my sister. So what you see on this sign, it says on the top, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So Israel, let me get Genesis chapter 32 and verse 28, I think. Yeah. So I got to show you about the name Israel. All right, let me show you about that. All right, read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28. Bring it up. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
Have you heard of the name Jacob before? So one of the forefathers was Abraham, Isaac, then Jacob. All right, so I'll give you a little brief history real quick. Beginning was Adam. All right, Adam was the first man. All right, along with Adam, after Adam came Noah. So but there's like a lot of history between Adam and Noah. From Noah, how you doing, my sister? We're going over who are the Israelites. Have you ever heard of the Israelites? What did you hear about them, my sister? Okay. Good. So now I was giving the sister the history of how we are where we are today, starting off with Adam. All right. So Adam was the first man created. After Adam, a little more history came through, and then there was Noah. From Noah, he had 3 sons: Ham, Japheth, and Shem. All right.
Where's Cain and Abel?
They're after Adam. They're between there. I'm just getting to the key points.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So there's Noah. You know what I'm saying? Because before Noah, all those men died, and there was Noah and his 3 sons.
Okay.
The flood, right? He had 3 sons: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right. Ham is the progenitor of the African races, the dark races, right? Japheth, today they're scattered out, but they're like the islanders, stuff like that. All right. And then there's Shem. A lot of nations come from Shem, right? He was a chosen seed out of those 3. All right. From Shem came Abraham. All right, along the lines, from Shem, it came Abraham, right? You guys know about Abraham? All right, Abraham, he was a friend of God, and guess what he did? Genesis 26:5. Let me show you why God was like, I need to choose his seed, because he knew this. Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice.
Because people don't understand the laws of God have always been on this planet. All people have some sense of morality. Like, I'm not supposed to kill somebody. Everybody has a sense of morality. So the laws have been on this earth, right? But there's specific people throughout history who took God's laws and pushed them to the next level. And Abraham was one of those people on the earth at that time. Read that again.
Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge.
Oh, Abraham kept God's commandments. Read.
Kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
So that's a significant character in our history. Abraham. All right. Abraham had 2 sons, Isaac and Ishmael. All right. Mind you, right now, we're still in the line of Shem. Have you ever heard of the word anti-Semitic? Anti-Semitic. You might have heard that in the news when you talk about the Jewish people. They say, oh, you're being anti-Semitic. But we're reading about the whole line of Shem right now. That's where they get it from. The seed of Shem. We're reading about what? Abraham, and he had 2 sons, Ishmael and Isaac. I'll get to who they are. I got you, my sister. I'm showing you who these people are, and then we'll get to the other people. All right? He had 2 sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael is the progenitors of the Arabians, the Muslims, the Arabs. That's where they come from. The Allah Akbars, all them, they're from Ishmael. Oh, this is all in the Genesis. God gave key indicators of what they'll be doing these last days.
Are you saying we're in the last days?
We're in the last days.
Y'all in the last days.
Go ahead.
Is that King James Version?
It's the King, so yeah, 1611 King James Version. Yep. So Ishmael is the progenitor of the Arabs, the Arabians, all right? And then Isaac, he became the father of Jacob. And this is what we're reading about. Go back to Genesis 32. And we're reading about Jacob right now. So I gave you a little brief history to catch you up to your question about who are the Israelites and the significance of them. Come on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
Your name should be called no more Jacob. Isaac he had 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. All right. Esau of today will be considered the so-called Europeans, the Caucasians. They're the descendants of Esau. All right. They came out all red. They're not the color of white, as like a piece of paper. They're different shades of red, pink. Out of the Bible, Esau, being washed away, they came out that color, but they call themselves white today. All right. But Jacob, the other son, this is a chosen seed. Read.
Shall be no more called Jacob, but Israel.
Your name will no more be called Jacob, but Israel. Israel is a people before it was a land. That's what we got to understand. When we think of Israel, we think of that plot of land over there. No, this is our forefather Israel. And he had what? 12 sons. 12. Actually, he had Joseph, and Joseph broke up to Ephraim and Manasseh. All right, so he had those sons, but Dan was one of them, right? So he had the 12 sons. This is where you get these people today. The descendants of Jacob or Israel are these people. And this is how we know who they are. Genesis 49:1. How y'all doing, my family? We're going over the history of the Israelites. How do we know who they are today? There's key indicators in the Bible. I don't want to go through like Ishmael that right now. I want to get to what's important, us. We are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Right.
Read verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons. And
Jacob called to his sons. He's older in age. He called all his sons together. Read.
and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last day.
This is how you know where they'll be in the last days. Today, right? Read.
Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob.
Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8.
Come on.
Judah
will be looked at today as American blacks.
Bring it out.
All right, let me show you how. According to this, read.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brothers shall praise.
Thou art he whom thy brothers will praise. Why would the rest of the tribes praise Judah? Hold that, Hebrews 7:14. Why would the rest of the tribes, they're gonna praise the American blacks? Why they don't look at the American blacks? There's something different about them. What's going on? Like all the other nations, if Judah has a certain style, what does the rest of the world do? If Judah talks a certain way, what do the rest of the nations do? Everyone follows after Judah. Right. This is why. Read that.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 14. Come on. For it is evident.
For it is evident, without a shadow of a doubt.
For it is evident that our Lord.
Who is our Lord? Jesus the Christ. Read.
Sprang out of Judah.
Which Christ is Jesus Christ from?
Sprang out.
No, which tribe is Jesus Christ from?
Judah.
Jesus Christ is from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
If you are from this, you have direct bloodline connection to the Messiah who was on this planet. Direct. He is evident. If he was on this earth today, they will be calling him an African American. Right. If they seen Jesus, like, oh, look at that black man. Oh, there's a black man walking down the street. Get him. No, he's from the tribe of Judah. So let's go back to Genesis. So I'm touching Judah, just so you know. How do we know who is who? I'm gonna give you a quick example of Judah, and now once you know that, I'm gonna show you why we're the Israelites. Read that.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
That's because of Christ. Come on.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemy.
Your hands will be in the neck of thy enemies. Meaning what? Who are our enemies today, family? Hold that. Deuteronomy 28:68. Do we have enemies today? Who are our enemies? Huh? So a spirit. Do we have enemies?
The enemy is.
You say white folks? Sister, do we have enemies today?
Bring it out.
Who are the enemies? Esau. Okay, let's get out of the Bible who God says our enemy is. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God, he's speaking to the Israelites right here. He's saying, all right, in this point in time in the Bible, they're in the wilderness. They just left the physical land of Egypt or Mizraim, right? They just left it on foot. Remember the Red Sea splitting? This is Moses speaking to the Israelites. You guys familiar with the name Moses? Yeah. He's speaking to the Israelites, right? So they just left Egypt, but he's saying, I'm gonna bring you back into Egypt. What does Egypt mean? Let's get the meaning of Egypt. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of where?
Out of the land of Egypt.
Read, AKA?
Out of the house of bondage.
So what is Egypt synonymous with? Bondage.
That's right.
Slavery. When you were in Egypt, what was your state of your people? You were the ones building the pyramids. You're the ones getting whipped on your back. Similar to here. Where are we in the society? We're on the bottom. We're in Egypt today.
Right.
Go back to Deuteronomy. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into slavery again.
With ships.
By how? Read that again.
With ships.
This is a curse from God to happen only to the Israelites.
That's right.
He says, I'm going to bring you back into slavery again with ships. Read.
With ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
So those enemies who took us on those ships, was it a spirit? It was actually physical man, a population of people. A certain man on this planet put millions of us on them slave ships and brought us to this side of the world. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
And we would never see our homeland again. It's evident. We're still here. Come on.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
Unto a who?
Unto your enemy.
No, unto a spirit.
Unto your enemy.
God is literally telling you who your enemy is. From the beginning of the birth of Jacob in Israel, there was always the enemy, his brother Esau. He has hated Jacob, even to this day. They can't stand us. Read that part again.
And ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
To your enemies. This is the enemy who I was talking about in the Bible. Who the man, the people, read.
For bondman,
For slave man,
and bond women.
and bond woman. That's who the enemy is of the Israelites. That's who told us you're African American, you're Jamaican, Trinidadian, you're from the Barbados, you're Haitian. Your enemies took your name and changed it to, you see the slave names. That a spirit's not doing that. This is God. Right. I'm just saying it for the people. It's not for you, my sister. I understand. You understand it now. What I'm trying to teach us is the Bible is real. All right. So now we get a better idea. These are the Israelites. How do we know? Deuteronomy 28:15. So now we got the history of where they came from and what who they are today. Because there's evidence, there's different things that he wrote about each tribe about who they are. Like how he said Simeon and Levi they will share the island. Like how they'll be brothers on the same. So when you actually read it, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get to what's more important is what? How do we get saved when Christ comes back? All right?
We all have like
You watch YouTube, my sister?
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me read this to you, my sister.
Okay.
Let me read this to you. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
God speaking to these people in these signs, he says, if you do not hearken unto the voice that he's telling you what to do, read.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
What were we supposed to do as a nation of people? Did y'all catch it? All his what?
Commandments.
We had to do all of his commandments. Is it just the ones that make us feel good? No. So if God says don't eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, are we supposed to eat it?
Look it up.
Family, are we supposed to eat it? No. Because remember, we came here. All right, we'll get that next. I'll get you exactly what he died for in the Bible. Remember, because I want to get to this next. But let me show you who you are. All right, read that.
To observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He says, for not keeping my commandments, I'm going to send curses upon you. One of those curses we read earlier, you will go into slavery on slave ships and be sold to your enemy, and you're never going to see your homeland again. That's just one of the many curses that are in the Bible. That's how we know we're the Israelites. That's what I want to show you today.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.